Hello. I've decided to talk to people about why not to join a direct marketing network or an MLM, as you've heard him said. I got my first experience when I was 17 years old, and the reason why was because I had somebody that didn't want to go alone. And if you've ever been to one of those basket shows or a cooking show or one of them, everybody calls everybody they can count on to be able to come to them. Well, that friend of mine took me that time because, one, I was 17 and she didn't have someone her own age to take. So she took me to this party, and there was baskets and pictures and knickknacks and wall such. And it was a qualifying party that the hostess needed $300 to qualify. At the end of it, listening to the presentation, and I was on the speech and debate team, I thought, I can do that. I could get all this stuff for free by earning my kit. So at the end of the meeting, I ended up talking to the woman, and she said, honey, you have to be 18 to join a company like this. You have to have six $300 qualifying parties in order to earn your kit in a limited amount of time at 2 months. Can you do that? She said, one, you're not old enough without a parent's permission. So I went home and I talked to my mother about it, who knew I could do anything I set my mind to. And my mom went back with me the next day, and she signed the paperwork for me to be able to do that. What I did at that point was I booked my 6 shows. I ended up qualifying all of them at $300, and I did it in record time, and I earned my kit. The reason why, because everybody has to have a why, I did mine because we were short on money. I didn't have a job. I needed something to be able to give my friends and family for Christmas. And I thought with all that stuff in the kit, that would be the first time that everybody would get something. So for me, I was trying to please my family, to make everyone smile, and I did it. So I earned my kit, and the woman was amazed at the abilities that I had to be able to book shows and to do that. And I quit because that was my goal. I wanted to earn that kit. That kit was the best Christmas that I ever had. Then all my friends know that I got into all natural makeup. I was obsessed with it. I had fun putting it on, but what I loved even more was this all natural company back when I was 21 years old, was that they had meetings, they had training, we used to go and practice on each other. We had classes to learn what each product did, the chemicals in the products. So it was a complete classroom for free that I got to go and get educated on the products. So then I had to do my qualifying parties to earn my kit, which I easily did. And I went out and thought I was going to take over the world. The only thing with that is at 21 years old, I ended up in a group where I was trying to sell skincare to someone now my age, which is 50. No one wants to get skincare advice from a 21-year-old that's trying to sell skincare. At that age, we should be trained on how to take care of our skin, but at that time in life, it wasn't working out for me. I'd earned my kit, I had a ton of makeup, I was doing good. Okay, I joined a few more companies after that, and the next one, I met a CEO who was a millionaire, and he had ended up with cancer. And he had the kind of money that he could travel the world over and find products, find scientists, find doctors, and he did a bunch of research. When you have all the money in the world, but you have cancer, you have a death sentence. And he wanted to find out why. He went on a mission to find out. He was a very smart businessman who put together, they were cassette tapes because I was in my late 20s. I had toddler boys, and he put together a company on water filtration systems. So when you take a hot shower, the largest organ in your body is our skin, and our pores open up, and that hot water was going in there. He told us to go out and get test strips and pool test strips that you take and you go to a pool and you put in to see how much chlorine's in the water. He said, go up and down your local street, McGalliard, get a cup of water, put the test strip in the water and see how much chlorine there is. And what I found out was there was more chlorine in the water that I was drinking than in if it was a pool. I wouldn't be able to swim in it until they got the pH level balanced. So that was a real eye-opener for me. This company had all kinds of supplements, nutritional products, and they also had what was called bottled water, which was a very new concept at the time. I bought it, the water. I bought the products. I was completely sold. I needed the cassette tapes. I needed the training. I needed the passion was on fire for me, because all I could think was my little kids were going to grow up drinking this toxic water. So when I would go to their grandmother's house, they had a bottle of water in their diaper bag to make their formula. And both grandmothers told me, we got tap water. We've been drinking it for years. What's wrong with you? I ended up so completely at a roadblock with every single person that I ran into, because no one could even wrap their head around the fact that one day we'd be buying bottled water in bulk, that we were going to have an epidemic of ADHD, of cancer, of all these different toxins, ALS, liver disease, you name it, we have it. There was a long time after I left that company with my head low, because everybody thought that I was crazy, that I was so obsessed with health and wellness and what my kids were putting into their body and what I was, that they thought that I was nuts. I had my head low, but I kept that cassette tape. And whenever I was going through a rough time in life, I would put in that Millionaires Talk. I would listen to it. And even though it was just about everyday life and goals and missions, it got me through some of my darkest days in my 20s. Next, I'm going to talk about a CEO who has inspired me lately, and his name's Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson started this, him and his wife Angie, in an apartment. Like everyone else, they were like I was at 21, they were hitting the ground running. They believed in products. And he went on to do what I couldn't do. At that time in his life, he had a mission. He ended up getting mentoring by the best, and he became the best. He opened up 250,000 people in over 40 countries with different businesses. So the man knew what he was talking about when he decided to create Zalise. Zalise is his company. He put together a team, and he put together products were the best of the best, from essential oils to deodorant that I had back in the day when I was 21. We had tea tree deodorant back then, and it was all natural. I don't know if anyone knows this, but when you put deodorant under your arm on a hot day, your pores open up, and it has aluminum in it. So he knew, like I did back then, that it was something that was going to cause breast cancer. So he was for the all-natural products. So he went on to create and design his own comp plan. He wanted the best of everything for this company. He wanted to make it easy. But what he found was Ultracell hemp. He found Dr. Derek DeSilva, who he put a team together to make this 94% absorbable, that it's 500 milligrams, but it goes into your system. It doesn't matter what product you go out and buy. You can go out and spend your money and spend your wills on several different products. But if you don't find a product that works for you, then it's not going to be worth it. I ended up total disability with chronic pain.